Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Hey wife, did you know that Anchor is sponsoring our show?
Really? Don't we use Anchor to distribute our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts?
Yeah, and we are on just about every other platform available as well, thanks to them.
Why do we use Anchor as our podcasting service?
Well, they make editing and distributing our show a breeze.
What if one of our listeners wants to start their own podcast?
Then they should head over to anchor.fm or download the app to get started.
Awesome! You guys should go do that right now! Husband!
Wife!
Do you know what we're doing today?
We are discussing Samuel, why there's 2 books of Samuel, I believe.
Very good, yeah.
I mean, we just talked about it, so It's not like a stellar move on my part to know that, but...
But it was like 10 minutes ago.
It was, so I mean, I guess it is somewhat of a feat.
Yeah, so I thought that we would look into that since we are between the 2 books of Samuel.
Yeah, it's been one of our biggest questions since Samuel died, for sure. We're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
2 books?
That don't make no sense.
No. So that's what we're going over today, but before we get into that, I do have some things I want to go over. Just a quick thing, we have completely revamped our website. Mm-hmm. And I would love for everybody listening to go over and check it out, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. There is a link there that we could really use your help on, and it says rate us, or rate the show, or something like that. Anyway, rate something. Yeah. So go there, click on that link, and you can leave a rating on our website. It also has links to rate us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and obviously those help us out tremendously, but any rating... we love it. You know, just hearing some feedback from you guys is amazing, and love to hear from you guys. So if you would hop over there, at least check out the site, see what's up, and then possibly leave us a rating.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Did you want to go over, I think you had something you wanted to go over as well, right?
Yeah, I wanted to just reiterate that our Sacrilegious Book Club is going to be taking place on Sunday, July 3rd. And we'll be covering Asimov's Guide to the Bible. And so if you are doing a read-along, at that point, we will be covering up through page 32.
Yeah, and if for some reason you missed it, I don't know how you would have, but yesterday we actually did the intro to that, so hop on back after you're done with this podcast and listen to that one.
Sure.
All right, that being said, let's go ahead and find out why there's 2 fucking Samuels.
All right. Hey so why are there 2 fucking books of Samuel?
Yeah, that's some bullshit. He's dead already.
He's dead. So this may surprise you or may not.
I mean, it's the Bible, so nothing really surprises me anymore, but...
They used to be originally 1 book.
Okay, yeah.
And,
I can see that.
And in most Jewish Bibles, they still are.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
But the first Greek translation,
Uh-huh.
which is called the Septuagint, and
Okay.
that's what we read from. It's kind of another word for Old Testament.
Okay.
Not another word for, but it's
Sure.
interchangeable terms.
Yeah.
Was produced around the 2nd century BC, and they divided it into 2 at that point.
Oh, interesting.
And that from there was adopted by the Latin translations used in the early Christian Church of the West.
Okay.
And were finally introduced into Jewish Bibles around the early 16th century.
So it is in Jewish Bibles, but also the old way too.
Most Jewish Bibles are still reflecting 1 book.
Okay.
But there are some that show Samuel's as 2 books.
Got it. Okay.
And that I'll get into this in a minute, but depending on whether it's 1 book or 2 also changes what it is titled, what it's called.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
in Bibles dating from before 1516,
Uh-huh.
the books of Samuel would be known as Kings and Second Kings, respectively.
Don't those still exist?
Don't those exist, right? That's
Right.
like what comes after Samuel.
Yeah.
Those, what are now known as First Kings and Second Kings,
Yeah.
would be Third Kings and Fourth Kings.
Oh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
right?
Okay.
And that makes sense.
That does make sense, yeah, because this feels like the beginning of that.
It doesn't just feel like it.
It is
It
the
is
beginning,
it.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that's the whole point, is that this is the beginning of Kings.
Sure, so why are we glorifying Samuel then?
Right. Well,
Like-
there's an easy answer and then there's a longer answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the easy answer is that Samuel was instrumental in the selection of the first 2 kings,
Okay.
and he was the very last of the leader, the religious leader, the theocratic leader of the tribes of Israel.
Changing of the guard, so to speak.
Not just the changing of the guard, yes, but also the changing of the way. Like, the 12 tribes were in great disarray
Right.
by the time this change happened.
Sure.
And they used to come together in various celebrations and reiterate all their rules, but by the time Saul came around, or I'm sorry, not Saul, Samuel came around,
Uh-huh.
they weren't really doing that so much anymore.
Got it.
And so not only were they struggling from within with each other, they were also being badly beaten by all of the Canaanites and Philistines, all the different groups of
Sure.
people
Yeah.
whose land they had
I mean,
taken.
partly it's their own damn fault.
Sure,
They fucking
sure.
took over this land, but
and
whatever.
never did take it over correctly.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, they brought it on themselves. But Samuel was the last of that lifestyle. That it was the end, not just the changing of the guard. It was the end of a very, very monumental way that they were living.
Got it.
And hereafter, they were no longer tribes of Israel so much. You
Okay.
know? They were now led by a king, and
So
you
it's
can't-
Israel after this, basically.
There's
Sort
still
of.
there's still the tribes, but their whole leadership changes and
Got it.
their practices change. The title reflects more how they are living. So they'd already been living this way for a long time.
Right.
And so the title was just like the final nail in the coffin
Okay. All
to,
right.
to go to the kingship.
Got it.
So that's the easy answer. The short answer is that because Samuel represented the end
Okay.
of the 12 tribes of Israel
Got it.
as we knew them.
Sure.
Okay, here's the longer answer. Okay.
Okay.
So according to Jewish tradition, blah, 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 tradition, translation, tradition.
Tradition.
The book was written by Samuel.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean,
Oh, wow, that didn't really come up.
yeah.
At least not what I was able
No.
to discern. So
Right. Now, that's according to tradition. That is, what they say. It was written,
Right.
which would make you say, oh, okay, that makes sense that the books of Samuel, he wrote them. So, of course, he would.
Except that he died.
Right.
So
but
that leaves a gaping hole in the he wrote it thing.
Right. Now we will get into the names Gad and Nathan. They are prophets who come in later books that we'll be reading.
Okay.
I believe the books of Kings, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Chronicles. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But those are the next two sets of books that we'll be reading: Kings and Chronicles, two of each. These prophets are believed to have come in and with Samuel, those three are the actual authors of.
Oh, okay.
Traditionally speaking.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
This is
Those three prophets. It says right here in my notes. They were in First Chronicles.
Okay.
So good for me. I'm guessing right. Yay. During the account of David's reign.
Okay.
So, which Second Samuel's is going to cover David's reign. Okay.
I kind of figured that because we're kind of leading into that. I mean, like,
but for all we know, he could die
that,
on page 1, right?
Yeah,
like we don't really know.
Anything
about it.
It's true.
So.
I mean, there's been characters that I consider bigger characters that I thought were big characters in the Bible that died within a book.
They just fucking keeled
like,
over.
Oh shit! That
fell
was,
off their stool.
Like,
had a stroke.
Well, no, I mean, just like big names. Like I'm just like, oh, that's it. That's all that person gets.
Yeah, whatever happened to so and so?
Right,
Who fucking knows? So, those prophets are all believed traditionally to have, helped each other in composing this.
Okay.
In First Samuel, Samuel himself is treated as a prophet. He's also referred to as a seer and a judge, and he was Israel's principal figure immediately before the monarchy. Even after Saul is made the king, he's still there.
Very prominent, yeah.
Yeah. And then in 2 Samuel, David is presented as the king. That's why these two books go hand in hand and were originally one story and are still, even though they're split into two books, you could still say it's one book.
Well, in one of the stories, Samuel actually anointed David. So, like, the other one was kind of iffy about that.
Yeah.
But, like, how they had two different versions of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, the one, he definitely anointed him as the new king.
Yeah.
But
and then in the other, it was by God.
Right.
So, and we're going to get into a little bit of that in a second, too.
Yeah.
So, some scholars assume that the books of Samuel were composed from 2 or 3 continuous sources. So, different stories that they collected that were, like, continuing stories.
Okay.
But more often now, it's believed that they are a compilation of independent narratives of
that feels
varying
more
length.
true.
Yeah.
That feels much more true.
Much more true. And that's the leaning theory at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's just too broken. I mean, like, there's too many broken things in there that don't make sense next to each other that I'm like, well, this just doesn't work. It doesn't even fucking work.
It doesn't even try to work.
Right.
The Deuteronomistic editors or writers, however you want to refer to them.
Sure.
And don't forget, we are still in that grouping of books.
Okay.
Like Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, not Ruth, and then Samuel, Kings, and Chronicles are not Chronicles, just Kings. Up through Kings is still part of that Deuteronomistic history.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So these are all now believed to have been put together by the same hand or group of hands.
Or edited by the same hand, anyway.
Yes.
Not necessarily written by them, but...
No, that's why I said put together.
Right.
Whatever writing they may have done, redactions, additions.
Because I got news for you. You couldn't be... The same writer couldn't have written Samuel.
No.
There's no fucking way.
No, not at all.
Because it's two different fucking stories at least.
Well, and there's a theory as to why they were kept in, because both of them painted David in a great light.
Right.
Which later on, in future books that we'll be reading, they will look back and talk about David as his, what did they call it? Dynastic history. Like, he's the beginning of the quote-unquote Jesus story, which I know that we're not supposed to be talking about Jesus because he's like not even a blink of an eye in these people, you know, like, but future books chronicle or look back on this, and David is the beginning. Like, God blessed him and all of his progeny forward on. Right. And David is believed to be an ancestor of
even if we're just sticking
Christ.
in the Old Testament, the way you're describing it says that they want to make him look good, and why leave out anything that makes him look good?
Exactly.
And they
So
can reference
that's
back
why-
to those things that make him look good.
That's why all the stories were included. It's believed that's why all the stories were included, even
Sure.
if they were clearly at odds with each other.
Right.
But
Somebody back then might have even been like, well, look, we have 2 stories. I'm not sure which one's exactly correct, but they're both accounts of him being a good person.
and Saul being a nutbag.
Right. So either way, whichever
both.
one you take, one of those is correct.
Yeah.
But everybody had the same idea.
Yeah, exactly. Moreover, though, the battles that were involved, the destruction of the Canaanites,
Yeah.
those were not supported by the archaeological record, which further goes to show that a lot of this was story and fable and
Sure.
legend and not direct history.
Was it Canaanites or Philistines?
Canaanites.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of the battles described in the books of Samuel couldn't have taken place.
Okay.
Moreover, a lot of the words that are used, the phrases, like one of them was "to this day" and "forever after,"
Right.
apparently are anachronistic. They did not speak that way.
Oh.
They didn't use terms like that. So it's clear, not in the time that Samuel was covering or that the editors would have.
Right.
So it's clear that these
It's
were
been reworked.
yeah, that
Yeah.
these were not written as early as
Got it.
they
Got
want it to be.
Sure.
So, it's now widely believed that the Israelites themselves originated as a subgroup of Canaanites, which
I mean, we thought that way back
Yeah.
when they were, in Exodus.
exactly.
So we talked about that
Exactly.
ourselves. Is like, so some of the stuff that we come across is like, things that they've studied and decided upon as scholars. I'm like, well, it seemed pretty fucking obvious, didn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like we came to that, and we're just dum-dums,
Right.
And we came to that conclusion on our own, and we're like,
I'm
yeah,
just-
that tracks.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're just reading along and like, yeah, that sounds like, but that probably is. So
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, whatever.
Okay, so and I already talked about the anachronisms and the phrases. Those could not have been compiled in the 11th century BCE.
Right, just because of the way they talked
Yeah,
and the way they said
it
things.
it wouldn't have happened.
Sure.
This is, to me, I'm wrapping up to an end here.
Okay.
The most interesting point of all of this. 4 of the Dead Sea Scrolls feature parts of the books of Samuel.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
So I cannot fucking wait to get into the Dead Sea Scrolls eventually. Yeah.
That's really interesting. Okay.
And I don't know a lot about the Dead Sea Scrolls. Like, we'll get into that, but apparently there's like different caves, at least 4 different caves that they were all
Right.
found in.
Yeah.
And whatever quadrant in the caves they were found in is how they're identified. And I'm gonna have to this is so off topic, but when we get to the Dead Sea Scrolls, I'm going to have to look up how the references are pronounced out loud.
Right.
Not
right.
because they're difficult to pronounce, but it's a matter of like, if you see First Samuel, you don't know to pronounce it First Samuel unless somebody has said it that way to
Sure.
you already, which is why Trump said 1 Samuel.
Right, yeah.
So I don't know. It's numbers and letters is how the Dead Sea Scrolls are identified.
Okay.
Not in some kind of Hebrew or Aramaic or something like that. It's just code names, like stars
Got it.
are given these, weird letters and numbers, and you don't know how to
Sure.
identify it, like how you're supposed to say it.
Right. Right.
So I'm gonna have to get into that, but I'm so excited about that.
Yeah.
Collectively, these books that were found in the
caves.
the
Yeah,
Dead
the
Sea
Dead Sea
Scrolls,
Scrolls.
they are collectively known as the Samuel Scroll, and
Huh.
they date from the 2nd and 1st centuries BCE.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
So we know from that that dates these,
Right,
kind of.
right.
That gives us some kind of reference.
Well, but that also puts those scrolls around the same time that they were trying to redo, based on what you were saying, same time they were trying to redo what was in Samuel, too. So it sounds like there was something going on with that whole portion of the Bible, Old Testament, at that
Right.
point, where they were trying to rework it. So there must have been a lot of people reworking. I don't know, but that's interesting, though.
Yeah. So, well, it shows at the very least that there was a lot of writing happening. What happened later that choose this book and toss that one.
Right.
That came later.
I thought that some of the Dead Sea Scrolls had to do with the New Testament too. Am I wrong about that? Or
I think so, but I don't know that for certain.
Okay. All right.
That's beyond my scope of knowledge at this time.
That's fine. I wasn't sure, and I just thought I'd ask the question. And
I know.
I'm sure somebody will probably reach out to us and tell us. But
every time the Dead Sea Scrolls come up, I'm just champing at the bit, I think is the term. Chomping at the bit. I cannot wait till we get to those because it's so exciting.
Right, just because of what they were when we were growing up.
Because they represent.
I mean, I swear to God, I thought Indiana Jones was the one that discovered them when I was growing up.
I'm serious. It's true. And
just because of the cool factor,
I remember thinking how cool it was, and I remember how people around me were not anywhere near as wowed as I was.
Right. Well, there's two camps on that probably, and one is that, yeah, that's neat, stuff in the desert, okay. If you're not really religious,
history, cool, whatever.
If you're religious, you might be like, oh shit, what's going to happen?
Blasphemy, that's not true.
Am I going to find out my religion's wrong? Or,
I don't think that's what religious people think.
No?
I think they automatically assume it's the devil's work, and it's either a fraud or it's something that was planted, and it's the devil, and we. Well, and I guess that's why it's in my
mind that there was some stuff from the New Testament in there, because I thought I recalled there being a whole section on Jesus that didn't paint him in exactly the same light that the Bible does. So
I don't know if that's the Dead Sea Scrolls. I really don't. I do know that there are other books that do talk about Jesus, that were discovered later. That do paint him as like he had siblings, he was married and had children of his own, and that he had his wife or other women among his prophets, or disciples or whatever. And I'll be quite honest, I could be confusing a lot of this with fucking Dan Brown's book. Because he talked about that a lot. But I want to say that Dan Brown wrote his book around all of this stuff that had come out because it was so exciting.
Loosely.
Oh, very loosely. Yeah. So I'm just trying to be honest. Like, I don't know any of this shit, and what little I do have, I learned so young. And at a time when I wasn't really aware of a lot of history.
Or religion.
Yeah, or religion. And that book was quite the phenomenon. So, just as much as Indiana Jones.
Yep, for sure.
So, just wanted to put that out there.
Yep.
Cover my ass.
So that seems like that might be about it for what we've got today.
That is it for what we've got today.
I don't know what we're doing tomorrow yet.
I don't either.
We're kind of playing this week like fly by the seat of our pants. So let's just leave it as a roll the dice, and you guys can have a nice surprise tomorrow. There's definitely, probably, most likely going to be something tomorrow.
Definitely, probably, maybe.
Yeah.
Because we want to wait until Monday to start the new book. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
It just makes the numbering easier, you guys.
Sure.
So, hang with us.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe, leave an Apple review, join us on Twitter, support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.